join me again today in another video for my Sketch to Scrap Saturday video series. So for this week, I've got this sketch for you which contains one photo. I'm actually going to be using a 3x4 photo, but you can obviously use a square photo as well, maybe a 3x3. Yeah, so let's get started. So I'm going to be once again using a plain white cardstock, which is what I normally use in my, well, that's what I normally use, and that's a photo I'm actually going to be using I'm going to be scrapping. It's actually going to be scrapping about a photo of my new jumper, and which is going to be for winter. So as you can see here, I'm just kind of working out, I'm trying to draw a circle, and I'm just trying to see whether I can use this Stampin' Up circle cutter to try to draw up a circle. And I drew a circle which was it was okay. It was a circle, but it was a bit too small, so I decided to, instead of just using the cut itself, I just used the kind of the I guess the edge of the circle cutter to kind of outline a circle. I don't actually need it to be perfect. Essentially I'm actually going to be I guess stitching directly onto the page, and I need it to be some sort of kind of circular in a way, a curvy, I guess. And to be honest, if you when you use this sketch, you can also use a maybe a big piece of circle, like, you know, a cut up circle as well, if you don't want to use if you don't want to stitch on directly on your page, or you don't have a sewing machine that you can use. Certainly I think, you know, cut up a piece of circle from a pattern paper of your favorite pattern paper, that would work as well. And if, you know, if I were to do it, I would just actually use a couple of circle cardstock, actually circle pattern paper. And now I'm actually just going through a bunch of, you know, embellishment in my stash, and to see what I want to embellish these kind of sewn up circles with. And I'm also going to be using a bunch of those acetate or plastic thing that came in the Ali Edwards, I believe it's a Tough Story kit. I know that a lot of people have been having issues, concerned about how to use those plastic kind of strips, and I actually found them really, really good. You know, this is for me, it's a really good way to use these strips if if you're interested in using them. And the way I'm going to do it is I will show you at the end, which is just kind of to ground where you store your where you stamp your date. So as you can see here, I'm just going through a bunch of embellishment, and now I'm just going through a bunch of sequins. I want the page to have a pop of, you know, pink and kind of gold, a bit of, you know, blue, essentially a very kind of multicolor page. And because I'm not actually going to embellish it with a whole heaps of stuff, it's quite, you know, relatively plain piece of, you know, scrapbook page, I guess. So I'm happy to kind of add in a few sequins to kind of give that pop of color. So now I'm just kind of, you know, after I do a few circles, you know, obviously non-perfect circles, onto the page, as you can see, I'm just lining up the sequins along that line. And now I'm just gluing all the sequins down. And the way I started with just gluing each sequin down individually. And what you'll notice soon is that I will start actually gluing the page itself. So I just put it in a dot, and then you just put sequin on it. And I thought that was a really time-saving. Well, that saved me a lot of time. So, you know, in case you want to glue a bunch of sequins, I would recommend just to glue the page itself. Put the glue directly on the paper, and then just put sequins on it. So that's exactly what I'm doing here. I'm actually not going to be gluing down or stick down these the chipboards that are on the page at the moment. I'm actually going to just take it out, and then I'll sew on directly onto the page and directly onto the sequins as well. And after this, I'm just going to wait for it to dry. I want to make sure that all the sequins are stuck down well. And I'll let it dry for about half an hour, and then I'll be back. So here, essentially, all the sequins are kind of dry and everything. What you notice is that some sequins will just pop out, and that's really not much you could do about it, to be honest. I'm essentially just kind of roughly sewing that down using my Janome sewing machine. This is not, I don't think it's a special sewing machine by any means. I use it for sewing my, mending and, doing some basic work on my clothes sometimes. But most of the time I actually use it to sew directly onto paper. So as you can see here, I'm just going through it a couple of times. I think it probably was about 3 or 4 times. And I'm just using white thread. To be honest, a gold one would be nice, maybe a silver one. So, but I kind of like it having it being, planes, if you know what I mean. And now I'm just sticking down a few more sequins that actually been popped out or broke in the process. Some sequins are actually better at sewing onto it than others. So, and to be honest, I don't really have a favorite brand, so I just I try it out. And to be honest, most of my sequins are actually from Studio Calico. I'm actually surprised some of them are better than others, but you know what? I'm happy to just re-stick that down. So, and another thing that I'm going to be doing here is just using a spare kind of glass kind of embellishment bag that actually that I got from Studio Calico. So in most Studio Calico kits, they would have these embellishments that come in a bag, like as you can see here. And what I'm doing here is just use it to store my tag. And now I'm just thinking about putting my title down. The title itself is gonna be, I think it winter warmer. Which is essentially just to kind of represent my new jumper. And I actually am using these thickers that actually is, I think it's from the Maggie Holmes. I think it's from the Shine collection. And I think it's actually called Detail. And a bunch of those chipboard stickers are actually from, I believe some of them are actually from December Daily. I think it's from not last year but the year before that. And some of them would be from various Studio Calico kits. So, and another thing as you can see me doing here is I actually typed up my journaling directly onto a 4x6 journaling card from a Project Life core kit. And this one is actually, I believe it's called Happy. And I decided to use a blue journaling card rather than a white one, just mainly because I felt like it needed a bit of kind of a pop of colour onto the page. And I think there's already a few kind of blue elements on the page, so I thought I'll just pick that up and use this as a another kind of almost a piece of embellishment onto the page as well. Yeah, and I'm just lining this up. And another thing that I want to point out is that real kind of white button that's on top there. That one is actually from Alec Edwards, and that one is, I think it's from Tough as well. So the Tough Story kit, as well as the strip of kind of plastic thing that you'll see me using in at the end. And now I'm just sticking down these thickers. So as I said before, this one is called Detail. I decided to go with this one mainly because I like how it's kind of, it's plain, but it's not too plain, if you know what I mean. And I think that would be kind of similar to this kind of this sketch and this page itself. It's plain, but I feel like it's not too plain. It has enough embellishment that it's kind of, it's easy on the eyes, I guess, that way. And so I'm just sticking down all the strip of journaling stuff that I've got there using my glossy accent. And now I'm just using some foam dots to pop up my photo. And I'm just sticking that down. I'm also, as you can see there, I've got the tag, I guess the product tag, the jumper, the tag that came with the jumper itself, tucked behind that glass bag there as well. And I was just sticking down these chipboard circles, and also sticking down that white button, kind of metal button there as well. And now I'm just going through a bunch of alphabet stickers in my stash, and I'm looking to spell out the word winter to represent winter warmer, obviously. And now I'm just thinking where I want to put these kind of, what do you call it, the wooden banner here. I believe this one is actually from a Studio Calico kit, but I can't remember exactly where it's from though. So, but I'm sure many of you would have a wooden banner in your stash, and any of them would be fine, to be honest. I've got actually a lot of them, but I hardly use them, so I thought I'll try to use it this round. And I'm just spelling out these, the word winter. And I'm actually using this, I believe it's from Making Memories. So these alphabet stickers, they're really old, so I'm not sure that they're still available anymore, but any alphabet stickers would do as well. And now I'm just sticking down these wooden banner here. I decided to kind of pop it, to kind of overlap that on top of the stickers as well. So as you can see there, I need the foam dot to make sure that they don't look like they would to kind of pop them up so they're not wobbly. And now I am just putting the threading some thread onto that tag, just so that people know, if you go through this, look through this page, that can actually be pulled out, and actually can be pulled out easily. And now I'm just going through my phone, just looking for the date of taking that photo. And those strips of plastic, as I mentioned before, is actually from Ali Edwards' Tough Story Kit. I actually thought that those strips are really cool, and I'm going to be using that. I'm sticking that down using my glossy accent. And for some of you who don't know, you need to actually peel out the kind of the cover or something, the kind of clear plastic, so it looks it removes the so it looks a little bit more colourful, let's put it that way. And so I stuck that down using my glossy accent, my favourite adhesive, and also using this Project Live date stamp with my VersaFine black ink to stamp the date. Now that's essentially it. This is so here's the sketch once again. As you can see, I'm just using one photo. And if you have any questions, please let me know. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up so I know that you enjoyed it. And as per usual, if you want YouTube to let you know when my next video comes out, please subscribe. And here are some close-ups, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye!